Thank you. Secretary Austin, I've been telling my constituents in South Carolina that if we fold in Ukraine and let Putin have his way with the Ukraine, China is more likely to invade Taiwan. Do you agree with that?
I agree, Senator, and not only China, but we'll see other bad actors around the world try to do the same.
I couldn't agree with you more. So how we deal with other bad actors in the world matters. Do you believe our disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan emboldened our enemies, Secretary Austin?
Senator, as you know, there were three things that happened in Afghanistan.
I don't have time for three things. Do you believe it emboldened our enemies? And if you don't, you've missed a lot.
I don't, Senator.
Okay, good. Well, you've missed a lot. Secretary Blinken, you said a couple of months ago that China was on the verge of supplying lethal aid to Russia. Was that accurate when you said it?
It was, Senator.
Okay. We all agree we want China not to help Russia, right? Here's an idea. 100 U.S. senators recommended to you that we declare Russia a state sponsor of terrorism to deter people like China from giving them weapons. Here we are, months later, and nothing's happened. And, Ms. Secretary, I like you a lot, but you're never going to designate Russia a state sponsor of terrorism, are you?
Never say never.
Well, I can pretty well say China sees all talk here. If you're really worried about China giving weapons to Russia, instead of picking up the phone and calling the Chinese, please don't do that, why don't you get 100 U.S. senators to pass a law telling China, if you give them one bullet, we're going to sanction the hell out of you.
Senator, could I just add to that, if I may?
Yes, please, very quickly.
I think China has taken account of the...
So do you think they've been deterred?
Of the unprecedented sanctions and export controls that we have wielded against Russia.
So you think making Russia a state sponsor of terrorism would not send a stronger signal to China, don't help the Russians?
I think the authorities that we have and we've used, which accomplish
Wow,
the same
I
thing,
just
have been
can't.
very effective.
Okay,
and
let's
send
go-
a clear message to China.
Yeah,
as
let's
well.
go to Iran. Is Iran a state sponsor of terrorism under U.S. law? Madam Secretary.
Sorry.
Yes, I believe it is.
Okay, they're sanctioned to the hilt, right?
Yes.
Okay, do you realize that Iran's oil revenue went up 20% last month?
I know it's gone up. If
Yeah,
you
it's
say
gone up 20% every month. Why? Because of China. So this idea that we have a strong China policy is a bunch of crap. It's not the budget will deter China. It's our will to take on people like China. So I think we're in a real world of hurt. Let's talk about the Navy. You know, the chairman criticized the House budget proposal. I, quite frankly, understand some of your concerns. A CR would be disastrous, I agree. Secretary Austin, the CNO of the Navy said we needed 373 manned ships and 150 unmanned ships to deal with the threats we face. Are you aware of that?
I'm aware that he said that we will.
Would you agree with it?
I agree with the plan that the Navy has outlined.
Okay. Well, here's what the Navy said. For us to get 373 ships, what we need, I would think the Navy is really important to deter China, that we'd have to spend 5% over inflation to reach that goal. Are you aware of the fact that the budget you proposed to this committee spends 1.7% under inflation?
I am. It's under current rates, right?
Okay,
And
well, I would say that you're never going to get to 373 ships if you got to spend 5% over inflation, and the budget is 1.7% below inflation. And here's what the committee needs to know. Under the budget proposed by the president, we go from 296 ships this year to 291 in FY28. China has 340 ships, and by 2025, they'll have 400, and we project by 2030, they'll have 440 ships. So we're not doing what we need to be doing to let China know we're serious about playing in their backyard. So this idea of countering China cannot be looked in the budget vacuum, how many diplomats we have on the ground. Everything we've done in the last 2 years, in my view, has made every bad actor more emboldened. And it started with Afghanistan. And the Iranians are making more money under sanctions, not less. And China's the biggest reason we're not doing a damn thing about it. We have a chance here in a bipartisan fashion to send a signal before it's too damn late. And when it comes to Ukraine, I appreciate this committee's bipartisan action, but I can tell you right now, if the Department of Defense doesn't provide the ICC with the evidence necessary to prosecute Russians, and you're holding it up, we're sending yet another signal that we're all talk when it comes to bad actors. So you may be pleased with what you're doing, but I am not.